Hey YouTube, welcome back to Universe X, and today we are going over even more spoilers. So the crazy thing is, it looks like we're going to be getting a very condensed campaign for the spoilers this set, and that's because Ultimate Squad got delayed, delaying Zenkai 1, but Zenkai 2 cannot be delayed because it needs to drop before Nationals. That's just the scheme of things. And so because of that, we're getting a set that feels like it's coming right off the heels of the previous set. We had our first spoilers for this thing 2 days ago, and then we had a day later, actually 3 days ago, and then we had a day later, we had the rest of the Sand Trios, and then following that next day we had Android 13, and then literally the same day we had the rest of 13, and then today we actually are getting, we got the beginnings of Green Gogeta BR. So it looks like in the next week, maybe 2 weeks max, we will have the entirety of the set out and we can really start crafting for Nationals. So it's my job to make sure that even though these are coming out faster, I get back to you guys with the feedback, you know, the first impressions, we get down into the deck archetypes. We're gonna be doing so much on this channel and I am excited to be able to do this. So with that being said, let's dive directly into what these do, right? But before we get that, I just want to say, hey, if you want to support the channel, there's a lot of ways to do so. The first and foremost, easiest way to do so is just to go right down and click that subscribe button, click the notification button so you never miss a beat, like the video, and comment with your thoughts so it trends. But there's other ways as well, you know? I've got the other channels that I'm about to dive into as well. We got some really cool stuff. Dragon Ball superheroes coming out and doing a crazy amount of stuff in some games. So we're gonna be covering that along in different places. And then past that, you know, you really just have videos on this channel that you can help, like my Hero Academia box opening, which could really use some love. I do really appreciate the opportunity I was given. But let's jump into that thing. And by that thing, I mean the cards. So the very first one we got here is Guro's supercomputer. It's one of those non-attack leaders, so that's weird to have that in red, but I mean, we already had the negative minus energy Dragon Ball, you know, so crack Dragon Ball. But yeah, so you got Guro's supercomputer. Permanent, this card cannot attack. Activate main, switch this card to rest mode, leave the top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 red Android card amongst them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. When your life is at 4 or less, or you have 2 or more energy and 1 or more Android 14 and Android 15 cards, both red with an energy cost of 1 in your battle area and or drop, you may switch this card and one of your energy to active mode, and then add cards from your life to your hand. You have 6 left. So this is a huge thing, okay? So one, it's a non-attack leader in red, but you're going to be able to search, switch it to rest mode and search these things, right? And then on top of that, you don't need to have some of these things. Like the awakening is pretty cool. Like you are going for a turn 2 awakening with most of these leaders, or you can awaken starting on turn 2. But this is actually a really neat thing because you could literally play a 1-drop, swing with a 1-drop, combo the other 1-drop, and then officially you have a red 14 or 15 card on the board with the cost of 1, and then you have the other one in the drop, and then you can switch this card and up. So this has a very easy awakening for sure. Now we're gonna move over to the back. It's an untap, draw 1, untap 1 leader. So yeah, like it just is what it is. But we are going to move into the backside, which is Android 13, Terror's Inception, 15k attacker. When this card attacks, choose 1. Play up to 1 Android 14 or 15 card from your hand. They both have to have an energy cost of 1 and be red. Then you draw 1 card, or you can draw 1 card. So yeah, another auto, place an Android card from your Z energy and its owner's drop. When you play a red Android card, add up to 1 red Android card from your drop to your Z energy. So this is actually very interesting. You're going to be able to cycle in and out of your Z energy like a toolbox. Well, your drop at least. You'll be able to get things from your drop to your Z energy, or just put the same card from your Z energy to the drop and then back again. So this is going to be cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of cycle it creates in the deck. But you're either going to be able to draw or play a 1-drop from your hand. Sucks it's not from the deck, but you know, we can't have everything. We'll see how this goes. Now you're going to move over to the Z Awaken. You got Android 13 Nightmarish combination, Z Awaken for 1, and you have 2 Z energy. That's pretty cool. When this card attacks, play up to 1 Android 14 or 15 from your hand, or a card from your both red and 1-drop from your hand, or drop. Okay, so this one extends it. Activate battle once per turn. Place 1 Android 13 card, 1 Android 14 card, and 1 Android 15 card from your Z energy to their owner's drops. Draw 1 card, and this card gains 5k power, and double strike for the turn. That doesn't look like it's super sustainable, like you can keep doing it, but who knows, the archetype may surprise me. But it looks like this leader really doesn't draw that much once he flips over to his Z Awakened form. That's unfortunate, but that also means that this is not something you use lightly. It can happen at 4 or less, but you're going to turn off all of your plussing from being able to do that, unless, you know, the 1-drops just go brazy. Now we're going to move over and look at the Z Battle card. You've got Android 14 and Android 15 team up of tears. Deflect, unique, dual attack, and blocker. That's a whole lot of key words. If you have a red Android card with energy cost of 7 or more in play, reduce this card's energy cost in your Z deck by 1 red. So that means that I'm assuming 7 cost Android card is going to be the boss card. So that means this guy's going to come down for 1 red, 3 Z energy, which is neat. Auto, once per turn, when this card attacks, choose up to 1 Android card in your drop with a combo, or in a combo with its kills negated for the turn. Okay, that's cool. And this card gains barrier until the end of the turn. So the one thing I'm seeing with this is it doesn't require you to have one with 5k combo power. So if there's any 10k Android cards you can sneak into this deck, you can combo with them and then just go up to 10k. So that's actually pretty cool. Once per turn, when this card activates blocker, switch it to active mode. And that's actually really neat too. I mean, you'll have to defend it, it's 15k, so it's not really blocking much. But this guy can attack twice, block twice. He can't do both of them in the same turn. He can attack once and then block twice. He can attack twice and block 0 times. But that's actually really neat. Just looking at this card gains barrier until the opponent's next turn. That is awesome. So you can attack once, block twice, it'll have barrier 15k. I'm definitely digging this, and that's going to fuel your Z energy something horrendous. Moving to the 1-drops. You've got Android 13, Uninvited Guest, Unabsorb once per turn, 1. If your leader card is a red Android 13 card, your opponent has 3 more energy, place 1 Android 14 and 1 Android 15 card from your drop under this card. Play up to 1 13 with an energy cost of 7 from your deck on top of this card in active mode. Shuffle your deck. Wonderful. Auto, when this card is played, top 5. Okay, so when you play these, you're going to look at top 5. You're going to look at top 5 for this one. And that's actually really cool because this guy is at least going to be able to plus you. So even if you Z Awaken earlier, you're still going to get a card just by playing this 1-drop from your hand. We dig those. Not a pure +1, but it is a break even, and you're setting up for turns, and you're getting, you know, another card to your hand. Android 14, Mechanical Assailant. Auto limit 1. If your leader card is a red Android card, and you choose, and all your energy is mono red, when this card is played, choose 1. So the first effect here is really neat. If your leader is a red Android 13 Z leader, draw 1 card. So if it's a Z leader, this is going to replace essentially your ability to draw. And you can play from the drop too. So that's actually really tight that you can turn this into your pseudo draw. Like if you swing and this is in your drop, this will be your draw for the turn. Okay, so never mind. The Z leader does indeed swing and draw. And then you have add up to 1 Android 15 Mechanical Assailant from your deck to your hand, shuffle your deck. Okay, cool. So you're building up the stuff, or you're drawing once you're awakened, Z Awaken. Next, we have the Android 15 Mechanical Assailant. Auto limit 1. If your leader card is a red Android card and all your energy is mono red when this card is played. Okay, so it has the exact same effect. So you either search the 14, so it's the other end of that effect, or you're going to draw 1 if you're a Z leader. So okay, your leader will be able to swing and draw and get a +1 on his Z Awaken side, and that's ballin'. Next, you got the Android 20 Inherited Evil. This is going to be the super combo for the deck. And this is the new super combos. Base 10k. If your leader card is red and your leader is a Z leader and you have 2 or more Z energy, or you have a Z battle card in play, when this card is using combo, draw 1 card. Cool. Next, Android 17 finally freed. Critical, counterattack, limit 1. If your leader is an Android 13 card, negate the attack and play this card in rest mode. And then if you, so it's going to cost 3, which is kind of fat. If your leader is a red Android 13 Z leader and your life is at 3 or less, you can activate this card's counter skill from playing it from your hand without energy cost. That's pretty cool. You can testing the op, and then, yeah, you can testing the op, and then go down to 4 life, and then block the next attack, and then play this guy to negate an attack, which is actually really cool because that's a free 3 attacks blocked. I actually really like that. And if this guy survives as a critical threat, we can take those. Next, we're going to move over. You got the Android 18 Vanilla. I mean, okay. All right, well. Then we're going to move back. Android 14 Uninvited Guest. 3 cost blocker. If your red Android 15 cards, yeah, if a red Android 15 card is near Z energy, at the end of the turn, switch this card to active mode. Okay, so it can swing and then switch up to active to block. It's going to cost 1, activate main or battle. If your leader card is a red Android 13 card, and you have 2 or more energy and a red Android 15 card in your Z energy, your opponent may choose 2 of their battle cards and have them minus 20k power for the turn. If they don't, you draw a card and play this card from your hand. That's pretty intense because you have to choose 2. So if they only have 1 battle card, you're automatically drawing this card and, or playing this card and replacing them in hand. If they do, they probably are losing 2 battle cards. So I think this is actually really tight. Red has enough effects to not allow your opponent to like smoke some opponent's cards that could, you know, make this easy to get around. So I like that. Let's look at the next one. Next, you have Android 15, Uninvited Guest. Auto when this card attacks against plus 5k, so it becomes a 20k. And then has the same exact effect. But like I said, because of red, this being red, you have the ability to really kind of stifle your opponent when it comes to these. Now we're going to move over to Android 13, Total Annihilation. This is the boss card. First thing you're going to notice is this is the boss card with the cost of 7. This is very, very important because this is going to mean that for free, because it has deflect, it doesn't have barrier. So for the free, green will be able to smoke this with Charismatic Frieza. Before I read anything else, that is the biggest takeaway I see from a 7-cost boss card. Then that's scary. That kind of sucks. But we're going to go into it. Deflect, Double Strike. Permanent, if an Android 13 card is under this card, because you can Union Absorb it, this card gains dual attack and it's not affected by the skills of red sand cards with 20k power or less in any of your opponent's areas. So that's actually pretty cool because that means that a whole lot of red sands will not be able to touch this, and red sands kind of seems to be a lot of the meta right now. Now granted, this is 20k power or less in any of your opponent's areas, which means that all the Spirit Bomb Gokus will absolutely mise this as they should. This also means like the top end of Gogeta's, like, yeah, this is just happening. But auto. When this card attacks, use up to 1 card on this card in a combo with the skills negated for the turn, then choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards or unisons. It gains minus 25k power for the turn. That's very, very strong. Activate main, limit 1/2. If your opponent has 3 or more energy and you choose one Android 14 and 15 in your battle area and or drop, play this card and the chosen cards under it. So you get to use its auto twice. However, if you Union Absorb this, you're using its auto up to 3 times, and the first 2 times he's going to have dual attack. So I think this is actually a really, really cool card. No protection, but he's a very, very powerful run it and gun it sort of card. Moving on to the next one, we've got Forgotten Capsules. Activate main, place 1 other card in your hand at the bottom of your deck, add up to 1 Android 14, Android 15 card, both red and with an energy cost of 1 from your deck to your hand, then shuffle your deck. This is very, very, very neat. This is a fixer. It's going to be a break even. You play this card, and you lose 1 card, but then you're going to gain 2 androids to come with the break even and fix your hand. Probably going to be at least a 3 of, like, I just feel like this card is like just very good at fixing your deck. Next, you got Android Assault. Counterattack, if your leader card is a Android 13 card, negate the attack and add up to 1 red Android card with energy cost of 1 from your drop to your hand. Permanent, if your leader card is an Android 13 Z leader, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding 1 card from your life to your hand instead of paying cost. So it's essentially got sparking without sparking. Pretty cool. It's a theme negate. We dig it. Next, you got SS Deadly Bomber. Activate main, if your leader card is a red Android 13 card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, gain the minus 20k power for the turn, then play up to 1 14 or 15 card, both red with an energy cost of 3 from your hand. This is not a bad card for 2. Like, we were paying 2 with Kaioken, and it's cool that Kaioken is a battle card, so we can combo, but this is a extra card that for 2, you'll be able to smoke something for 20k or less through barrier, and play a 3-drop from your hand. Those 3 drops were not bad. Uninvited Guest 14 and 15 were not bad. So all in all, this doesn't look that weak. I do want to see how it plays, and in the upcoming week we will be doing our archetype breakdowns, so you guys can kind of get a feel about the bread and butters of these decks. But as it is now, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at random red androids. This feels actually pretty good. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and the just input. I am looking forward to diving into this deck. The boss card is a little iffy because it has no protection in this format. That's kind of wild, but it being immune to red sands under 20k if you have the correct card under it is really neat, because there's a lot of sands that are going to neg 5k, neg 15k, and this is going to actually get around it. So yeah, I'm a little excited to see what this deck can do, and I hope you guys are too. I'll see you guys the next time inside of Join Universe X. Later.